Welcome back to Texas History. I'm Mr. Anderson, and we are going to continue our study of Texas government. Today we're going to look at the Texas Bill of Rights, which is part of the Texas Constitution. Just like the United States has a U.S. Constitution and Texas has a U.S. Constitution, the United States has a Bill of Rights and Texas has a Bill of Rights. Today we're going to look at both and we're going to compare and contrast them to each other. The big idea, or essential understanding, of this section is that granting individual rights establishes the needs for citizens to assume the responsibilities of participatory government. And the question we want to be able to answer is, how does the government protect the rights of the citizens that it governs? So the first thing we want to do is look at our essential vocabulary for this section: free speech, free press, civic duty, and Bill of Rights. One of the absolute most important rights we have is the freedom of speech. This is the freedom to express ourselves, the right to criticize the government, and to share ideas. Freedom of speech means the government cannot arrest us or harm us for sharing our ideas. Freedom of speech doesn't guarantee us the right to say anything we want whenever we want. We can't shout bomb on a crowded airplane. Someone could get hurt. And if I say something that embarrasses my employer, I could lose my job. But it does mean the government won't come arrest me if I say I don't like a political leader. The Bill of Rights also guarantees us a free press. Guaranteeing a free press better enables us to share information and helps ensure our ability to participate in the democratic process. Next is the idea of civic duty. Civic duty is really what responsibilities we have as citizens to our society. What do we owe back to a society that provides so much for us? And what do we need to do to ensure we remain a democracy and keep the rights we have as individuals? Lastly, we're going to look at Bill of Rights. And the Bill of Rights is part of a constitution, and it outlines our most basic and important rights that we have as citizens. Today, the first part of your assignment is going to be looking at and comparing the Texas Bill of Rights with the United States Bill of Rights. First, let's take a look at the United States Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, and they are our basic rights. The First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution includes the right to worship, the right to speak, the right to write and publish, the right to gather, and the right to let the government know when you are dissatisfied with something it's doing. The Second Amendment is the right to keep and bear arms. This means that we as citizens have the right to own weapons. The Third Amendment is the right not to be forced to let soldiers live or eat in our homes. That means the Army can't just show up and demand that we turn over our property to them. The Fourth Amendment is the right not to have our homes searched or our property taken without a good reason or a search warrant. The Fifth Amendment is the right not to be tried for a serious crime without an indictment. That means being charged with a crime. The right not to be tried for the same offense twice, the right not to testify against ourselves, the right not to have our property taken or our liberty taken without going through a legal process, such as a trial, and the right not to have our property taken by force without being paid for. The Sixth Amendment promises us the right to a speedy trial, meaning the government can't just lock us up and leave us there without giving us a trial. It also promises us the right to know what we are accused of and who is accusing us, the right to get witnesses to testify for us, and the right to have an attorney. The Seventh Amendment promises us the right to a jury trial, a right to be judged by fellow citizens if the penalty involves a cost of prison or money more than $20. The Eighth Amendment promises us the right to have reasonable bail set if we are arrested, and the rights not to have cruel and unusual punishment inflicted upon us for a crime. The Ninth Amendment to the United States Bill of Rights states that the rights listed in it are not the only rights we have. The 10th Amendment states that all rights not given to the national government or denied to the states by the Constitution are reserved, kept by, or belonging to the states. Now let's take a look at the Texas State Bill of Rights. The Texas Bill of Rights outlines the basic rights we have as citizens of Texas. Remember, the state cannot take away the rights promised us in the United States Constitution and the Bill of Rights, but it can give us other rights and add to those freedoms. So let's take a look at the Texas State Bill of Rights. The Texas State Bill of Rights lists its individual amendments as sections. We're not going to go through all of them. We're going to start with Section 3. Section 3 states, equality shall not be denied based on sex, race, color, creed, or national origin. Section 6 states that all persons have the right to worship God as they please and no one is forced to worship God. Section 8 says every person is free to speak, write, or publish his opinions on any subject. Section 9 states that people are protected from unreasonable searches and seizures of their person, meaning themselves, their house, papers, or possessions. Section 10 states that a person accused of a crime has the right to a speedy trial by jury, and a person does not have to testify against themselves. Section 13 states that excessive bail shall not be required and that cruel and unusual punishment is outlawed. Section 23 promises every citizen has the right to own a gun to protect himself, but the legislature can regulate the carrying of guns, meaning the legislature can decide if you can just walk around with one in public. Section 25 states citizens do not have to house soldiers during peacetime. Interesting. So that concludes the general lesson of this portion of the video. Now we're going to take a look at the actual assignment. You're going to use the video you were just given. Feel free to rewind it to any point you need, to answer a couple questions, to create a summary, not of the U.S. Constitution, but of the Texas Constitution. Then you're going to use that summary that you create to compare to the United States Constitution. So let's take a look at the document. This is called Summary of the Texas Bill of Rights. Your job is to use the video to create a summary of what you understand sections 3 through 27 are. Those are the ones presented in the video. You're to use your own words while you do this. And I would like you to sketch or import a picture that symbolizes these specific rights in the Texas State Bill of Rights. Once you've created your summary and sketch, you're going to compare that to the document U.S. Bill of Rights. You are going to compare these two documents, the one you created and the one you're provided with. And you are going to make a list using this, comparing the U.S. and Texas Bill of Rights. This is a T-chart. Fill it in using your own words. Look at similarities and differences between the two documents, United States Bill of Rights and Texas Bill of Rights. Be specific and take your time. Don't forget to upload your work as you've been shown in the Uploading Your Work to Teams video, which was assignment number 2. And that is it for this portion of the assignment. You're going to use this information to do another assignment before the end of the week is up. So hold on to copies of these. Always keep copies of your work, and I will see you in the next video explaining the final assignment later.